Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the It Takes Two podcast. We are back with another episode today.
We are. We have a fun episode here to a little switch up, kind of, and we'll tell you what it is in a second. But as always, we thank you guys for watching and listening. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great Easter. We came up with our vlog of Easter, and it was a great time. So we hope that you guys had an awesome Easter and was in church and was hanging out with family, because that's what we did. Did you have fun?
Yeah, we had a really good Easter. We packed it all in. I mean, honestly, it was a lot, but I had a really good time. No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. It was great.
No regrets.
No regrets. So, as always, if you guys are watching or listening and you haven't yet, make sure that you leave a review, whether that's on Apple Podcasts or YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're at. You can leave a 5-star review. That helps get the podcast out there. We're always encouraged when we hear, testimonies or stories or just that you're listening. It really means a lot to us. So thank you guys for doing that. And today I'm excited because
you didn't tell them to subscribe.
Oh, how about you tell
That's
them?
like okay, leave a review, yes, but you gotta subscribe.
All
you
right,
gotta follow along, like it, share it with someone.
Yeah,
that's good too.
No, I know, but I
do
feel
it all.
Do it all. Yeah, share it, post it.
I want the subscribe button.
Yeah,
hit the button below.
Awesome. Okay, well, now that that's out of the way.
And now back to business.
Back to the scheduled programming. We are going to be talking through some of the most asked questions about relationships from Google.
Yeah, which, we do a lot of Q&As, but I think it might be interesting to see, what kind of questions the world has out there. And honestly, they're really good. I can't wait to dive into it. We got a lot on this list, probably more than normally we would cover, but I think we're going to be able to get through it all.
Yeah, and we filtered it a little bit. I mean, I kind of just was trying to find some of the most asked questions or common ones that would be more applicable. And so I don't know if we'll go through, we might go through all of them, but we have some written down here, and we'll just give our opinion. This is kind of fresh, and we didn't prepare for any of the actual questions, so this is really off the cuff in our
raw and real, baby.
First initial reactions. So you want to just dive into it?
Oh, I am gonna go first with this first question.
It's a good one.
It is a good one, and ladies, I know that you feel me here.
Well, don't be sexist.
Well, the question is directed that way.
Oh, that is true. Well, let's make it neutral to gender.
No, honey, no. Just get to the step. We're getting there, okay? Question number 1, is it okay for my boyfriend, husband, to play video games? Sure, we could say girlfriend, but I find that to be very less likely. And if she does, I feel like the male counterpart probably doesn't give a rip.
That's true. That's actually true.
Is it okay for them to play video games? Well. I am glad that you have come to the right place for this question. When Spencer and I started dating, I was a quantity time person as opposed to quality time. I wanted to be with him every waking moment of every day. And why wouldn't he want to be with someone like me? And you know why he was busy besides work? In his free time, he would want to play video games. And honestly, for a while, it really bothered me.
Yeah, it really did.
Why are you spending your free time playing video games? You could be living out your dreams every day, spending time with me. And I really had to come to the realization that, ladies, this is normal. If you think that it's nerdy or weird or annoying that your boyfriend or your husband loves to play video games, it is kind of normal. I honestly thought it was a weird thing, and I don't really think it is anymore after just a lot of the my female friends that I've talked to, knowing a lot of your friends, and obviously being with you, and I think you're fairly normal. So I do think it's okay, and I will say within reason. You can't be addicted to your screen time,
right?
But in my opinion, yes, it's okay if you're playing video games.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, honestly, I mean, listen. I've had times in my life where I was out of balance and times where I was in.
Yeah.
I am like a video game. What growing up, like especially high school and whatever, it's all I did was soccer and school and had friends. But I played a lot of video games, and I still play video games. And I think it's sometimes it's hard for like people to realize. I'll say, women. I'm trying to be neutral, but it is for the most part.
I'm sorry, this is not a neutral topic.
Yeah.
We're talking about dudes here.
Yeah. So I think sometimes it's like it's hard for women to wrap their head around like why do you want to do this? And it's like it's not a competition. It's not like, well, they want to play video games and not hang out with me. It's like every guy needs some type of way to relax and unplug, and a lot of times that can be video games. And also, like, I have friends that live out of state. Like, I have friends that my social hour with them, like my social time with them along with playing video games, because we get to play together and talk and whatever. So I think it's just a recreational thing. And yes, you can like be addicted, and then that's a different story. But just because your husband/boyfriend is playing video games, you shouldn't just be upset because they do. I mean, I think it's like, I don't know. It seems weird to just
Are you trying to dish it back and saying if we were to do something, what you would think?
In
a similar way, like, oh, well, girls do this, so like, why can't guys play video games? I thought you were about to dish it back.
Oh, no. I feel like I talked to my friends a little bit about this last week. I feel like, I don't know why, and we don't even have to talk about this. It's just a topic that's reminding me. I don't know why guys, like, it's easier for guys to have hobbies and things that they do than it is for girls to.
You think I don't have hobbies?
No, you do. I'm just saying in general, males have more like hobbies
What
than
are they?
Females. Hunting, working out, video games. Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like for the most part, women enjoy like social hour and like just talking and sitting around and talking, whereas guys enjoy.
No,
like,
I don't actually enjoy that.
Okay. You do it all the time.
What are you talking about?
Oh my, you do it all the time. When you hang out with your friends, you go and you hang out. When guys hang out, we want to be doing something.
No, I feel the same way.
Baby, I love you, but
I would rather like go get coffee and chit chat.
That's not a thing. That's not doing something.
Going out to eat and going to coffee, that's not a hobby.
No, that's not a hobby.
Take this man's mic.
You're just doing what you would normally do.
I like to go shopping. I like to work
These
out.
are not working out. I would say, yeah, that can be a
Shopping
hobby.
is a hobby.
Okay, all right.
I like to go get my nails done with my friends. I like all the beauty things. That's not a hobby.
No,
to be into that stuff. Like, my friends will come over for like paint nights.
That's a hobby, yeah.
Okay, like,
you are more so than the average person. I feel like in general, I know I'm making a generalization. I'm saying there's exceptions, and you are a bit of an outlier.
I've been gardening like almost every day this week.
Yeah, but I think like in general, I'm saying generally, you're taking this personally, but I'm saying in general, women and girls are like more content with just
Ladies, I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear a male's perspective.
Oh,
what are your hobbies? Tell me what you enjoy, and let's like get together and prove these boys I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm right. I don't know what I am right on.
Moving on. I'm right. I cannot with you right now. You are not proving your point. If anything, I am contradicting everything you're saying.
Let us know what you guys think, because I think that I'm correct in this.
Please write in and tell us.
Okay, here's the second question. How do I know if it's over?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's sad. What do you think?
I feel like I think you generally know if it's. I mean, obviously we're speaking to a dating relationship. I mean, in a marriage, it's like,
yeah,
we talked about this over and over again, so we don't have to reiterate.
I feel like in a dating relationship, it's over because like the connection is kind of lost, or you feel like you're having to work extra hard and they're kind of just are slowly phasing themselves out.
Yeah.
When you lose interest with someone, you like kind of,
Yeah.
it's not always intentional, but it's like, it's less important. It's, like not always what they want to be doing. Is like always with you. They always want to talk to you and tell you everything. It's like, it's a phase out.
Yeah. If you're asking the question, I feel like generally the person that's asking the question is generally the one that like has more attraction towards the other person, and the other person is the one that's pulling away.
If you have to ask, I think you kind of already know.
Exactly. So I think like, if someone's ghosting you, if they're pulling away, if they're drawing away, those are obvious signs that maybe, there's interest, or there just needs to be a conversation of like, hey, what's going on? But how do I know if it's over? You can kind of sense it. You're smart.
I'm thinking about someone who's like about to be dumped. That's kind of like where my mind goes with that question.
Yeah. So you got to dump them first.
No. We're trying to salvage what's left.
Yeah. How do I know if it's over? Distance, emotional disconnection. When things are just, they're funky, and you can tell when they're funky.
Yeah. Or, like if there's more conflict, then, not.
Yeah. More fighting.
So like more things to fight about.
More
it's
combative.
Like, oh, where's the joy? Where's like the good memories that I was like looking forward to having all the time? Like if that's happening less and less, they're probably not going to put up with that for much longer.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I would pay attention to more of those signs than like just general feelings,
Yeah.
Because you can go through funks in a relationship and feel a certain way, but those actual practical signs are what you should be looking for.
Totally. That was easy. Next.
Easy. We agreed on that one.
Okay. Next question is, how do you break up with someone?
How would you say? What?
I think you're the professional here.
I am not a professional at breaking up.
Okay, you're not good at it, but you've done it a lot.
I have not done a lot in my life. I've broken up with maybe 3 people.
Okay. I feel like, there always has to be like a discussion. I think that if you have been in a relationship with someone, they deserve a discussion.
I think it depends on, yes, they always deserve a discussion, but I think it depends on how long, you've been dating. I think breaking up with someone after a month is different than breaking up with someone after 2 years.
I know, but like, we all know that you don't break up with someone over text, over the phone. Yeah. Like, you need to like, it's like, that's why everyone's stomach sings with, oh, we need to talk. Oh, I know exactly what that means. But I do think that as much as that makes you feel like that gut-wrenching, like suspense, you also will appreciate having someone actually being like, hey, this isn't really working out. Here's really the reason. And like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my piece of advice, if you're breaking up, you just gotta make it as clear as possible and know that like there's no good way to break up with somebody in terms of like there's gonna be hurt feelings, it's gonna be awkward, there's gonna be tension. And so I feel like some people maybe try and like, there's a story. Hold on. I want to make sure that this is an accurate story and a story that I'm actually able to tell, because it might not be my story.
I think you need to be as honest as you can. You need to be as concise as you can, because they don't want to hear on and on and on the laundry list of why they're so terrible. Yeah. But like, be honest, be concise, and then don't try to like soften the blow with like, let's be friends. Right. In reality, we all know like that's just not going to be something you can do right away. And if it happens, it happens. If not, probably for the best anyway. So just be like, like, I'm sorry, like, that I'm hurting you. But this is how I feel, and this is where I think we need to go from here.
Yeah. The only story I was thinking of was a guy basically broke up with his girlfriend, and then like they didn't know what to do, so they still hung out afterwards. It's like,
oh yes, that story. It's like,
wait, I told you the story?
Yeah.
Oh.
What they didn't know what to do, so like they went and like picked him up and like, can we still hang out? Sure. So they went and picked him up and they went and like hung out after, because like they had plans that weekend.
Yeah. And so
that's just weird.
Don't
like
do that.
Just I think, and that the best thing you can do too is just have a clean break. It's really hard, because it's like you go from talking to someone like every day. They're like literally a huge part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You do everything with them, and all of a sudden in a day it changes.
Yep.
Or, you know, maybe it changes more in your mind than actuality because they're pulling away. So that can be hard to make that clean break, but I think everyone can agree cold turkey is usually the best way to get rid of anything.
Yeah, and like if you're getting broken up with, don't try and, you know,
It's sad. Don't
accept
try
it.
to like
Accept it.
you know, someone broke up with me once and they were like, "Oh, it's just not the right time." Don't say that either, because then I 6 months later was like, "Is it time?" And they were like, "No, it's still not a good time." And then I was crushed because I just thought,
that is tough.
It's not a good time. Well, now it's kind of like are we there yet?
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't be desperate. Just, you know what? Accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Find the pearl. Move on.
Yep. Find the pearl, move on. It's going to be tough. It's really, you know.
It is hard, but I feel like those first like couple weeks are really critical of like, okay, like that's when you can really just like be in your feels and you can get super depressed. So it's like I would make myself, it was called like AG duty. I would have my friends come over and I had one CD that we were allowed to listen to, and it's like, you know, or a playlist, blah, blah, blah. It's been a while. Because it was like nothing was romantic. Like, don't let yourself get there. Because like if you do, like that's when you're more than likely to be like, wait, but I miss you and come back and let's, you know. So I think if you can get through like those first 2 weeks, like I had someone with me every day, sleeping over with me, like every night. There was a schedule, but that was like a really extreme breakup and I needed extreme help.
Yeah.
So I feel like just surround yourself with people that can encourage you. And like if you're a girl, then really focus on your girl gang. If you're a guy, then like hang
focus
out with
on your guy gang. No, but you do. I mean, guys like they isolate, you know, naturally. Yeah. So don't do that and get it. And here's a funny story. Because guys don't do well with breakups, right? I mean, generally,
does
like
anyone?
No. Guys like don't do good like consoling their friends because we don't know how to handle that situation. And generally guys like aren't in their feels and emotionally intelligent, especially when I was in high school. One time my friend, there's 3 of us hanging out and we were watching this show together. It was at my house and his girlfriend texts him, "Hey, can we talk?" You know, that classic text. And
can I bring my friends?
And no. He goes, "Oh, sure. I'm at Spencer's house." And she goes, "I know, I'm outside." And so he's like, "Oh, my girlfriend's here." And we're like, "Oh, that's weird." So he walks outside.
Also, stalker, how'd she know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, locations weren't a thing back then. I had no idea. So me and my other friend are sitting, we're watching our show. He walks outside and she breaks up with him on my front porch. We have no idea. But then he walks back in, and at this time it's kind of like nighttime, so you know, the lights were dim where we're at. And he walks in between the 2 of us and he doesn't say a word and he sits down.
I think I know who this is.
He's crying. He's like, not like sobbing, but clearly like crying. And me and my friend, we were in sophomores, I think.
Oh, dang.
Oh yeah. And me and my other friend, we look at him and we make eye contact and we just go and we turn our heads and we all just watched the show that we were watching for like 2 more hours.
What were you watching?
Avatar: The Last Airbender. But yeah, we were just like, I don't know what to do. Both of us, I mean, whatever. I was a sophomore and I didn't do what I should have, which was obviously console my friend, but I didn't know what to do. So we just sat there in silence and watched it while he cried. And we laugh about that today. But the point of that story is don't do that. Console your friends, be there for them. And yeah, delete the contact, delete them on social media. Don't like just be like sitting there looking at their picture. Delete it. Yeah. Clean break. I don't believe in getting back together after someone breaks up either. So
yeah, what I always say is you don't put up a garage sale and then buy your old crap back.
Yeah.
Once you are getting rid of it, you're getting rid of it.
Yep.
Let it go.
That's right.
And time to move on.
Okay, what's the next question? No. Does your boyfriend, girlfriend also have to be your best friend?
Do they have to be? I mean, I guess no, but like I feel like it's better if they are.
I mean, yeah. We're talking different than, I think relationships, they all have their roles, and like Adrian's my best friend. Do you know what story I'm about to tell? When me and Adrian were dating, she was like, I asked her like, oh yeah, this person's your best friend. And she's like, yeah, she's my best friend. And she goes, well, who's your best friend? And I said, my guy friend that was my best friend. And she was like, I'm not your best friend. I was like, wait, what? You just said, I thought
No, you just said.
Yeah, but you are my best friend. But
you're my best friend.
Thank you. Yeah, Adrian's...
Do they have to be? But I'm like, if you're not friends first, like it has to be more than just romance. I think
Yes.
Your relationship goes so much deeper when you are, okay, like friends first, but like you also want to be friends and like enjoy each other's company. Like that's someone that you literally do everything with in life. So I think it would be somewhat odd if you didn't think of them as like one of your closest people.
Right.
But that's to say like, okay, they don't have to be, because like, of course, yes, I have girlfriends that are like my best friends, but like Spencer's also my best friend.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like yes and no.
I would say Adrian is my best friend. I have a guy best friend that I call my best friend. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a trick question.
Person.
Yeah. And so it's like, it should go, I like what you said. It should go beyond romance. It should go beyond affection. It's like, if I'm doing something, my first choice of who I would want to do that with is Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like those questions were most.
What?
I mean, like, what do you want to do with me?
Play video games.
Well, why not?
Because you would not be good. Interesting.
Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted, I don't know what I was gonna say. You messed me up, bro.
The end. And that's the podcast. No, just kidding. No. We were talking about best friend. Doing things together. I would want you to be the person that does things with me.
Yeah, that brings me to a point. So like, those questions people are like, okay, you are stuck on a remote island and you can only have 3 people with you.
Yeah.
Who are you taking? I'm like, if you don't name me, we will have words later. Well, yeah. I will be named as the person you want to bring with you on a remote island.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird if we were married and I didn't say you.
That's when you know it's over.
That's when you know it's over.
Those questions. Oh, I'm always like, what are you going to say? When people ask it in front of me and my friends are with me, I'm like, oh, so you don't want to bring me? Okay. Noted. You're not coming with me either.
Okay.
I'm petty like that.
Next question. How do you ask someone out?
Oh. Well, I want to start with saying, let's not get too confident. Like if there is no connection, if you've never are they interested in you? Let's kind of like maybe feel that out to an extent. And you don't have to know someone super well to ask them out. Like you can meet someone and be like interested in them. And it's like, obviously you're having some sort of connection, interaction, conversation. If they are not feeling it back with you, like, let's just leave it there.
Yeah, but also at the same time, maybe some people that are not self-aware, that's like the best form of medicine that you could get is rejection. Some people need rejection.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, obviously, if you're coming in with a lot of confidence, I'm going to ask this person out and they say no, maybe that's some good medicine for your soul.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Why? Anyways, but let's say that, there is a connection.
If there is a connection, I would say important things. Number one, don't be weird. Obviously, don't keep it breezy. Keep it
I'm breezy.
I'm breezy. Keep it chill. You don't have to do grand gestures. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
like if you're asking somebody out for the first time, it should be like a normal conversation. Hey, man, I would love to grab coffee with you sometime. Hey, I would love to, this one's a little bit bolder, but I would love to take you out to dinner sometime.
Oh, yes. Take me out,
I would
baby.
love to
I
hang.
want a meal.
But here's the thing. Is just like breaking up. You have to be very direct and very clear on what you're trying to do and your goal on what the objective is. Otherwise, you're going to make it so like there's miscommunication and people don't understand. So
Then the girls show up with her girlfriends like, what's up?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, be clear. Because, yeah, if she shows up, her girlfriend, she's like, yeah, you wanted us all to come hang out. He's like, oh, I meant just you.
No
honey.
group hangouts. If you're asking somebody on a date for real, like asking somebody out, don't do it in a group. Like, be confident. Like, be confident enough to be able to handle yourself, especially as a man. Like, be able to.
Because we are talking to the guy. What do you think about girls asking guys out?
I don't like it at all.
Oh, hot take.
Hot take. I just think that, how you start is really important. And how are you gonna? I don't know. Am I saying that it could never happen? No, not at all. I think a girl can ask out a guy, and it can be a successful relationship and all that. Yeah.
But ultimately, I think all girls would agree. Like they want to be pursued. They want to know that someone is interested in them and wants to like take the effort to like care for them. And like if every girl believes that, then don't you want it to start that way as well? Because if you're starting a certain way, it's just going to become routine. They're going to think that that's normal, that like you're going to be the initiator, and then you're going to be fatigued because you're not going to feel pursued.
Right. And I mean, ladies can drop hints, They can.
Oh, yes, we can.
They can give signs.
You know the moves. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. I love like hanging out in group settings first. Like, you can meet someone. If you're bold and you're like, I met them, I like them, I'm asking them out, and it works out, that is awesome. But sometimes it's like, you kind of got to like warm it up a little bit, kind of get to know each other to some extent. And then it's like you hung out a few times in a group, and it's like, you know what? It wouldn't be the craziest thing if like us two hung out on our own.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Someone asked me like, how did you and Spencer end up getting together? And I'm like, well, it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was. Which is kind of crazy.
And, while we're here, maybe, do you remember like how that all kind of transpired? Like, I know that
all the timelines of it?
Well, I know that my memory serves. Yes, I reached out to you to like serve on my team.
Yeah.
Then how did we start hanging out like in friend groups? How did that even
It was because we
come to be?
So I started liking Adrian, and then I was creating avenues in which we could be in a group because we were only a work relationship. So I was trying to form social outings where we could hang out in a group to make it more like getting to know her, because at that time it was kind of weirder between us because she was technically like, I wasn't working, but I was an intern, so she was technically my quote unquote boss. So it would have been weird for me to straight up just ask her out on a date.
Yeah.
So I thought, so I got my friends to ask your friends and you to hang out in group settings. So we started hanging out in the groups, and then we started hanging out more, and then I asked you on an official date to Seattle.
That was a good date.
Yeah, it was.
You're so sweet. I love you.
It was great. We went to Alki, and then we did like a picnic thing, and
the Pike's Place Market, got some flowers.
Yep, got some flowers. It was a good day.
The Storyville coffee.
Our first date.
Right?
Yep, it was great.
Yes, it was. But yeah, so I think cultivating those group settings can be less intimidating to start out with, and then you get to know each other, and then the more comfortable you are, like you can tell if the vibe's there, and just put it out.
Totally. Yeah. And follow the vibes.
Listen
to the feel
vague.
of it.
Someone was like, because they're like, oh, I had this person I'm interested in, but like, how did you guys even like connect if you guys like weren't like, you didn't really like know each other? I'm like, that is a good question.
It was just there. We just felt it. I took a step of like, I really was trying though. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I
you
would,
really did try. I said that, like, we were both involved at the church, and then you were involved with a lot of people that served like in the like high school ministry.
mm-hmm.
And so you guys, like, somehow there became like an overlap where, like, like when we would all do things, go out, like,
we all did things because I initiated it with everybody. And it was a coordinated effort. That's what I'm saying. Usually it's the guys that make it happen. And if I wouldn't have done that, you never probably would have seen me in a light of like social, normal friend versus the relationship. I feel so
loved right now. Yeah. Fellas, go out there and make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen if you want it. Okay, next one is a little bit of a darker, deeper one. Is how do I know if my spouse is cheating on me, or boyfriend or girlfriend, I guess. How do I know they're cheating on me?
Well, I feel like if you're dealing with deception, so I think it starts there. I think that people start to act differently when they know they're hiding something.
Totally.
So, and it can be like, okay, they're just like acting funny. Like, you don't even think anything about it. It's not like, where have you been all night? It starts with like, why are you being like, either like really possessive about something or really private about something else. And it starts with that. And that's why we are like, oh, you can have full access to anything I have because there's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And so, like, if all of a sudden they don't want you looking at their phone, they don't want you checking the mail, they don't want you like, on their email, and it's like, well, what's the big deal? Like, you're being so funny. It's not, it doesn't matter. When they start being, changing like their normal mannerisms to be more private and to being more, paranoid, I think that's the first sign of deception.
Yeah. And I would say a big red flag too is like a sudden like schedule changes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to be late staying at work, this and that, like more often than not, when it's like you've never had to do that before. Different things that like cause, and honestly, I believe within every person is a level of intuition. And so it's like, if something feels off, it's worth investigating. Yeah. Unless you're a psycho and then you're just paranoid, but yeah, most people aren't.
I would say too, like, if you're married and you're like, how do I know my spouse is cheating? Like, what is your physical relationship looking like? Because
True.
If they're getting it from someone else, then they're probably not needing it from you as often. And you may be like, oh, we haven't done it in a while, but well, whatever. We've been busy. It's like, but if that's like becomes normal and like you guys aren't being intimate very often, then they're getting it somewhere.
Right. Yeah. If you guys aren't pillowing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're watching a show and that's what they call it. We always laugh when they say it, pillowing. But no, for real though. If you guys aren't, and it's odd, and you can make excuses all day long, but if it's off, then that's a huge, huge sign that something is amiss. Yeah. Something isn't right. So I would say those are good signs. Well, not good signs, just effective signs
to be aware of.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of pretty straightforward though.
Okay, we only have a couple more. This one's a fun one. Should I spend more money on the wedding or the honeymoon?
More money? How much are you spending on a honeymoon versus a wedding? Yikes.
I don't know, but this is a hot take.
I don't know. As I've gotten older, I have, like, because when we got married, I was like, I want it to be as big as possible. I want everyone to be there. This needs to be like a 300, 500 person wedding. And I'm not joking. It like literally was. So now looking back.
There's so many randoms there.
Now I'm looking back.
If you were at our wedding and you're listening, we're not talking about you.
The other people. Oh, those randoms. Not you, honey. Not you.
Yeah, not you. Not you guys.
You're amazing. But, no, as I've gotten older, I've been a part of more intimate weddings. It just became normal when COVID was kind of like going on.
Yep.
I actually, even as a guest, even really enjoyed those so much more. So I think if you're thinking like, I want a big wedding, like, I mean, I get it. I've been there, but honestly, the intimate ones, I feel like your memories are just going to be that much more cherished because all those people will have a really high value to you. So in that context, maybe you don't need to spend as much money on a wedding, but I just think practically a wedding does cost so much money.
So much money.
You're thinking about a venue, when you're thinking about a dress, when you're thinking about
Food.
feeding all those people, the food is the most expensive part of a wedding.
Yeah. No, most of the time.
What else?
Venue.
No, honey.
Yes.
The food was more expensive than our venue.
For us, but in general, you could pay $10,000 for a venue and have 100 people there, and you're not spending $10,000 on food.
I don't think that's probably penciling for me.
What do you mean? What do you mean that doesn't pencil?
10,000 for a venue and 100 people?
Yeah, I'm saying
and you're not giving them an elaborate meal. I just don't know.
10,000 isn't that crazy for a venue for a wedding.
Okay. Anyways, your expenses are a venue, a dress, you're feeding everyone, you have flowers, maybe you have rentals like tablecloths and chairs and
all of
tables and your silverware and all that kind of stuff, like decorations. I don't know what else people got going on, lots of stuff. DJs, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of components versus like flights, hotels, food, and having a good time.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I think it would be difficult to spend more on a honeymoon than a wedding, but I think I would rather like maybe cut back a little bit on a wedding so that I could give more money to a honeymoon.
I don't know that if a honeymoon will ever realistically be much more than a wedding.
Unless it's like a courthouse wedding.
Yeah, sure. But I still think like weddings can just be expensive because you're inviting people to celebrate with you, and that's the expensive part.
Maybe we can switch the question to intention. Like, should I give more focus to the wedding or the honeymoon? But even still, I would say wedding. Yeah.
There's so many more components. Like you can go on a trip and you're going to enjoy yourself. It doesn't take as much planning to do a vacation versus this elaborate celebration.
Yeah. But I would cut back on some things in order to get a better honeymoon. Awesome honeymoon.
Yeah. Like, I'd say it could be maybe a little bit more balanced in how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just think, where are you freaking going on this vacation, this honeymoon?
I don't know. Maybe a month-long southern Italy.
Who can afford that vacation?
People in the world can. I can't, but some people can.
Those people don't even care about finances.
That's true. Okay, last question. This is funny because it's kind of a 360 to the first question. Okay. Should you have the same hobbies as your spouse?
I think you should have some similar interests. I mean, what do you have in common? But I don't think you need to have all the similar hobbies.
Yeah, like me and Adrian share our hobbies of eating and coffee.
Oh, so that's a hobby.
No, I was just kidding. I was making a joke from what you said earlier.
It's a hobby.
Okay, all right.
I research restaurants and coffee shops so strategically. I don't just like show up and be like, I want to eat. Where should we go? I don't know. Let's just Google something in the area. Never. You won't find me there.
Yeah, Adrian she does her research.
I'm very dedicated to my research. I care. Now you're getting me on a rant. This is a hobby. This is a passion of mine. I care not only about what I'm going to be eating, like the food. I'm a picky eater, so I care about what I'm eating. I also want the aesthetics to give. And if it's not giving and if it doesn't taste good, I want both. I'm not willing to settle for one or the other. I want both. If I had to pick one, I'd pick aesthetics. And that takes research to decide if I'm going to go somewhere I've never been before. I'm looking at every tagged photo. I'm looking at Yelp reviews. I'm looking at Google Images. I'm looking at their website. I'm looking at everything to be like, does this place qualify as some place that I want to spend my hard-earned cash?
Yeah. Adrian does research a lot, way more than the average person. But she takes us to cool places, and she finds the gems
because it's a hobby.
Yeah. Okay. I'll concede.
And I take my people with me, and they're grateful.
But me and Adrian, we have, let's see, what similar hobbies do we have?
We're both nerdy.
Yeah, we love TV shows and movies.
I'm just finding that so many people are not into TV shows and movies lately. I'm like,
crazy. What are you doing? Me and Adrian are so hardcore.
We're really into it, but like not just like, we're into I don't know, like you say, like sci-fi fantasy shows too,
Yeah.
and like movies,
Yeah.
or maybe not as many
Which is
girls are
rare
into that. So I'm into that.
Praise God.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd.
Yeah.
I am.
Like actually,
Mm-hmm.
you know your stuff.
Yeah, I really, really want to be an elf for Halloween, you guys. It would just be singing my little ears. It'd be so cute. If you don't love Halloween, just log off now.
But back to the question.
Should you have similar hobbies? I think to some extent, yes. You have to have some similar interests.
Yeah.
Not all our interests align, but we do have things like, then what are you going to do together? Like, hey, we want to, go out for a date day. What are you going to do? Like, someone's really into bowling and someone's like, I don't know, really into golf. Like, does anything intersect where you guys could do an activity together?
Golf is a good guy's hobby.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah, at some point you don't, I
like boating.
Yeah, true. I think that we have different definitions of hobbies. But I will agree that your style of finding and researching places to go.
I have a good friend.
That is not normal though. People like eating is not a hobby for most people, but it would be for us because we pick specific places and we're like more so.
Yeah, that's why I have best friends I like to do things with, and one of my best friends, that's like what we do together.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but I think, yeah, it's important for you to have some type of similar interest that you can do together or find it. Like you guys, there is a common interest out there. Board games, reading. I mean, reading you don't really do together, but there's stuff that you could do together. Like get a dog. What?
You can do stuff.
Painting, museums, I don't know, cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's things that you can find. So you don't have to have all of them. Like I golf, Adrian doesn't golf. I play video games, Adrian doesn't play video games.
I've rode in the golf cart with you though.
Yeah, she does. Adrian paints. I don't paint.
I want to do a pottery class.
Adrian does a pottery. I don't do pot. Well, I would.
You
but
said you would go with
no,
me.
I would, but it's not like something that it's like, oh, that's my hobby. So I think I think it's very healthy that you do things separately too,
but also together. So like, again, I think just with everything, balance is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you don't have to do everything together, but you should do some things together. And if you're both going to enjoy it, you have to have a similar interest, right?
Yeah.
But not everything, but at least you have like the thing, like that's your thing. You guys do that together.
Mm-hmm. Have a place where you guys can come together and then be able to have your
enjoy yourself,
level of independence that as a, because you are your own person and you have your own interests, but then there has to be the healthy balance of I have that, but then I also have my time together where you can bond with each other and do something fun. What?
I just am laughing. You telling me that my hobbies aren't hobbies. I just don't know where you get off thinking.
No,
you can talk to us like that.
No. I said your hobbies are hobbies, but eating is not a hobby, but it is for you because you're so selective and specific.
I convinced you that it's a hobby. You did not. You were like, nah.
No, I still am holding my ground that eating is not a hobby for most people. Unless you're like a foodie.
Some people are.
I know some people are. So some people eating is a hobby, but that can get dangerous.
My 600-pound life.
I think some people should stop their hobby of eating.
We go to the gas station when we need a little quick, snack.
Ooh, let's go after this.
Okay. What do you want to get?
I don't know. Coke?
Yeah, so the last time we went to the gas station just down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And, without all the hoopla of a grocery store, we went because he wanted to get a Coke. And I'm like, well, let's get a candy too. So we got a 2 for $5 candies.
Which, by the way, what are we at, a movie theater?
I know, it's so expensive.
I think that's
a nice gas station, though.
Cookies and what do you mean a nice gas station?
No.
It's oxymoron.
It's a nice gas station. They just redid it versus like
sorry. We have the plaza of gas stations down the street from us, but we had a Hershey's bar, a literal cookies and cream Hershey's bar, and a thing of what?
I did Chewy Sprees.
Chewy Sprees, $5. There's a lot of Biden.
Anyway, so talking about, eating as a hobby, he went to check out, and when he wasn't looking, I grabbed, you guys don't know this about me. Why are we deep diving into this? I don't know, but I secretly grabbed a Hostess cupcake and I put it on the counter, and we were checking out, and he was like, "What is that?" No, because I'm obsessed with Hostess, and he thinks it's the weirdest thing. I'm always looking.
You make me sound like I'm like verbally abusive. If you want,
no, you're not. It's just funny because I'm like, I got my cupcakes.
I know she does sneak it. Not that she's not allowed to eat those things. She is, okay?
Yeah, I ate them both that night.
With my wife eating whatever she wants to eat. I don't control her eating, okay?
You don't need to.
No, I don't. Thank God. Okay, anyways.
We're getting wild and out of control here.
Yes. Have hobbies the same, have hobbies that are different. And that's the final question.
So that's like our top 8 questions. What a rando number, but the best ones from Google that we answered for you guys. So if you guys have thoughts about some of the things we talked about today, we'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments below, write us a direct message. If you guys have more questions pertaining to these topics, we'd love to dive into that as well.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in, our 2 crew. We hope you guys have been enjoying some of our vlogs lately. Those have been fun to make, but obviously we got to get back down to business.
That's
so
right.
Here we are answering the tough questions, but we love you guys. We're always here for you, praying for you, and we just hope that you were encouraged today.
Yeah, we'll see you next time on It Takes Two.